Alright, so this is if Rome, if the Roman Empire came back and they made an empire. Rome was a country that, well, an empire that existed, a country slash empire that existed 2,000 years ago, and peaked around, I think, 280 something. I could be wrong, but this is like they just plot back on the map. This is extremely unrealistic, but no one really cares. So they have a couple different options. I mean, this isn't a perfect representation of Rome, Roman Empire. It's a lot like it, but it's not perfect. I mean, I don't know if they actually got all this. I looked up a map, but the map I looked up said it had that. So I mean, take a look at the map. Anyway, so immediately they're gonna go after these little pockets of countries that are not functioning. So really, they're basically just gonna go after these three guys, Austria-Hungary, and the whatever's left of Romania. They probably don't. There's probably no one living there. So, yeah, the war goes exactly how you would expect it to. Rome just basically walks in. Basically, they just clean all this up. Now, and I mean, they're definitely the strongest country in Europe. They have they have all the military assets from France, England, Spain, Turkey, Romania. They have all of them. So meaning they're a nuclear power, and we'll see how that goes. So what's gonna happen with the UK? Well, it's not really the UK anymore. It's more of Scotland and Northern Ireland. So they're just kind of like kind of split. Like Northern Ireland's gonna go to Ireland, and Scotland can get independence. So this is now Scotland and Ireland. So the world is kind of like, what is going on with Rome? Why is it back? And that's because they want to be back. So they're gonna send a. They're basically gonna This is gonna send an ultimatum. I don't know why I'm. Ultimatum, and they get fully annexed. Yeah, but the rest of Tunisia is definitely no one living there, so just gonna go and take it over. So now what are they gonna do? So all these Northern African nations, besides Morocco and maybe Egypt, they're like these two crippled. Like it's all desert. This like at this point it's all desert. This is all the valuable land up here, but it's all desert. So what's gonna happen to them? Well, they're just gonna kind of pray, I guess. But they're not. Rome isn't really focused on Africa. They're more focused on Europe, and they're gonna declare war on the Netherlands. And this was exactly how did you expect it to? The Netherlands. And yeah, Czechoslovakia, well, they're going after you too as well. And once again, the sheer amount of troops, tanks, artillery, it's too much for these two. It's way too much. So many different countries. Well, they're gonna go. They're obviously gonna go clean up nations that are suffering from this. And Russia's gonna have something to say, but they can't really do much. Russia's gonna have something to say about Rome expanding their border. But once again, Russia, there's not really much they can do about it. Rome's kind of doing what they want and getting away with it. Of the rest of Georgia, and Azerbaijan. So now they're kind of left in like a. I mean, they can go after Africa at this point, which they probably will. They can go after Russia. I mean, they probably will eventually, but not yet. So once again, we're gonna have another war down here. It's once again gonna be a steam wall. It's not really fair to Morocco, but nothing's fair. Eventually, they're just gonna realize fighting is just pointless. So, Egypt. I see that you're complaining about not having a very small coast, and you want the Mediterranean coast back. Well, guess what? It's time for your annexation. And yeah, they just don't even fight. Or they do fight, it's just too fast. Their death is just too fast. So, with Rome's expansion in Africa, a lot of African nations are getting very paranoid at this point. Like, especially these two. I mean, at this point, they probably can't function. So they probably merge together, that's what I want to say. Even then, this is not really doing that hot. And the whole population is like on the border. It wouldn't take much. What does Rome do now? Well, they can go after Germany, but they like to pick on weaker countries. So they're not going to go after Poland or Germany. Not yet. So they look around. They want to go after Iran because a lot of mountain in this area. Like up here, there's no mountain, but up here on this border, mountain. They don't want to go after Saudi Arabia because it's just more desert. They don't really want desert. So now it really leaves them with only a couple options. Well, one. Hey, Ukraine. See, you kind of lost all your coast, but you're about to lose your entire country. So, we have Rome declaring war on Ukraine, and what's gonna happen here is we currently know, I'm not gonna factor in with the Ukraine war in real life. Let's say that never happened. Lucky Ukraine, but not really, because you got now have Roman troops entering your country, which Ukraine's gonna send like a plea of help, like please help me, to Poland, Russia, Iran, or literally anyone. But then Russia's gonna pull Russia and join the war on their own side. So Russian troops enter the country just like they did in real life. Why Ukraine would send a plea of help to them, don't really know, but they do. Now, what's the reason for this? Well, it's to push back the Romans that are on the border, because they know if they get too big a border with the Romans, it's not going to be too hot. So they're invading Ukraine to push back the border. So you kind of have like pockets of Ukraine just kind of just being like, hey, we're done for it. We can't fight against two superpowers. And eventually, Russia gets all of this land, and Rome gets the rest. Now, usually we have Rome basically demanding more territory that they should have got, a threatening of an invasion of Russia itself. So what happened appreciably? Rome gets a lot more land than it should have. Russia gets all of Eastern, and Rome gets all of Western and the middle part of the country. Now, what's this? This is a DMZ. Now, the DMZ is kind of pointless when you factor in that the border is no DMZ here or even here. So, what was the point in that? Just for this border, I guess. Russia was like trying to get them to do it here, but then it leaves this land. Rome was like, no, screw off. So now what? Rome doesn't really want to expand north. They don't want to expand south. It's just desert. Desert. I mean, you can go after Iran. I mean, yeah, this happens. So we have Rome declaring war on Iran. For what reason? Just for expanding. That's literally it. You should. Hold on. We need to call it Russia. There you go. So we have pockets of a lot of Roman troops kind of enter into here, and it's mountains. So eventually, we'll send the boat down here, kind of solidifying the fate. So eventually, we have this being cut off and taken. Eventually, they be able to this, take all of this. And, oh, Tehran is gone. Well, yeah, no, this is under. Iran has no hope of winning this war. And at this treaty, we have Rome once again taking way more land that they deserved. And the world isn't going to stand by and watch anymore. They're sick and tired of Rome's stuff. And they're going to react. And how they're going to react? Well, this is how they're going to react. With Rome's expansion, they're done with it. It's destroying society in a lot of different countries, like Germany's. Like all the European countries are like, if they let this slide, they're just gonna invade all of Europe, and like they're not gonna stop until they crumble from too much expansion. So Rome, how Rome kind of look at this new alliance? Well, they're gonna call all these countries like not nice stuff at all. They did not like this alliance at all. And what are they gonna do? They're gonna take it out on Turkmenistan. Why? What did Turkmenistan do? Absolutely nothing. They're just doing this literally just for a punching bag, and I guess this is their punching bag. So they're gonna basically destroy the country, bomb it to smithereens, make it nothing, and then they're gonna. Okay, so now they're gonna invade Catholic. No, wait. Oh. Oh. So, yeah, they're completely surrounded by, they're completely surrounded by purple now, and they're gonna be like, well, the only place we can expand is Russia's, DMZ that they set up, and, they're gonna walk in here. Russian troops are gonna realize shooting starts to happen, and a lot of soldiers die on each side, and the world isn't taking it too like they're not very happy. And how did the world respond? Oh, that's a lot of blue. That's a lot of blue. So the world is done with Rome's expansion, and they're going to basically set out to decimate the whole thing. Now, the USA, Russia, China, India, Brazil all come together, put aside their differences to stop this redness in Europe. And this is not doing too hot either. This red, like a lot of heat in here and a lot of like down here. Honestly, like a lot of everywhere is just kind of like trying to get independence, but they're being brutally suppressed. You can only imagine on the stuff Roman police forces are doing. So let's get to the fighting. We're gonna enter Germany, as this was a planned invasion. For one thing, it's Poland, and Russia's immediately gonna get like a lot of them, like 80% of the military down here, but it's still not gonna matter. As Rome sets up a huge front, like too big of a front. Down in Africa, we have no movement. Saudi Arabia, no movement. Only you kind of have movement like in here a little bit, not too much. And here they start making a push. I'm not too sure what the capital of Turkmenistan is. I don't know if they have those over here. I don't know where it is. I think it's like down here somewhere. But they start moving towards capital and up. So this is not good at all. Scotland's not gonna be able to hold. Like they barely have a military. Same as Ireland. I mean, Ireland's gonna put up a decent. They're gonna have a decent front system, but it's not gonna last long. Germany is ready for this war. They're gonna construct. They already constructed millions, because this is the war where if you lose it, yeah, no, the entire world would be done for. So all the countries are conscripting. Rome is conscripting. It's mass conscription. USA is sending troops rapidly to probably Western Sahara, maybe up here. Who knows? Rapidly sending them anywhere. So before American troops get here, let's see what they can do. Not like American troops that are superpowers, but it's definitely gonna make a difference. Warsaw falls. Poland and Poland is just not ready for the war. I mean, they were, but they weren't. We have pushes in the Caucasian Russia, and it's not going too well for Russia. Just waiting till the winter sets in, which is probably around like the month of September right now, maybe. I don't know. We'll say it's like the September, almost October. Just wait for the Russian winter. Rome's not gonna be ready for that. Down here they kind of send like pockets of troops, just go and capture the border, and that's exactly what they do. They just capture the border, and they don't really do anything more. Other countries that are going to join the war are going to be Nigeria, Cameroon, the DRC, Congo, Kenya. Like all these nations here will join. South Africa is going to join. Like a lot of countries are going to join this war. So, will Rome ever push down here? Hell no. Not doing that. Indian troops are trying to get Pakistan. Like Pakistan's allowing Chinese troops to go through, but I mean, reluctantly let Indian troops. Well, they kind of join on their side. Afghanistan's gonna set this one out. Mongolia, no, not actually. Afghanistan's gonna set this one out. These two join the war. These guys already should be in it, really. North Korea is gonna set this out because it doesn't bother them at all. So now this is extremely bad for them because a lot more countries have entered the war. They're done, but they're still gonna be able to push through. So over here in Ireland, yeah, they already fell like a week ago in this scenario. Germany and Poland fall, and the capital of Lithuania falls. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. Minsk falls. Pushing the Denmark. This is obviously not good, but don't worry, American troops are now arriving in Africa. So, Indian troops are now entering Saudi Arabia and Iran. Chinese troops are going to Russia and Iran, but they're not really focused on this. Indian troops are going to be on the Egyptian border, Saudi border, and Iran border, so 3 different borders. And it's about time a pushback starts to happen. You have a pushback here, so it is not bad, but you need a lot more land than this. So here's such pushback. I messed that up. So basically, we have this happening. We have to stand countries force up, and then force them out of their country, and kind of invading into old Turkmenistan land. And eventually, Iran's forces, whatever's left of them, pushes in to Tehran, takes the land. Bad stuff has happened. You have Russia losing a lot of land. They re-enter the stands. Will it matter? Probably not. But Chinese troops are starting to enter en masse. Just sending them to the border. Like, en masse sending. American troops are now going to go on the offensive over in Africa. They push into here. We have these guys just going back. And eventually it's going to end up something like this. So eventually we have them being kicked out of the occupied Africa. We have more land. We have Indian troops going into. We have Sudanese, Egyptians, not Egyptians, Ethiopians, Somalians, and like this been pushing here, like liberate it. This has fallen. This is immediately not going good for Rome. And Rome sees that, and Russian interest is happening now. And oh, there goes the Russians. Oh yeah, you don't really mess with them during the winter time. They kind of kick you out of here, and they push back very heavily down here. And they're now going on the offensive into Ukraine, or Roman Ukraine. So we have miscoordination leads to this, and then more miscoordination leads to this. And basically everyone in Rome that is happy about Rome, like they want Rome to exist, like they love living here, they all know that this is not going to go good. And, well, I mean, they're going to push up into Sweden, but really, it's not going to matter. I mean, they push up, capture all this, but Russian troops are now storming because it's wintertime in all the Baltics, and wintertime everywhere. Not really everywhere, but a lot of areas near Russia, it's already winter time, and what the Romans just can't seem to beat the Russians during the winter. They take back Kaliningrad and beat with the Polish border. Sweden's even gonna push back against them, just as they kind of abandon this. We now have Canadian, American, Mexican, Cuban, Colombian. Actually, no, not Colombian. Well, mainly this U.S. and Canada, and maybe some Mexican go up to Greenland, then Iceland, and then they set a boat down and find out that they are not the Rome is not defending either of these, and they're not defending England, so they lose all these atomic bombs. Now, Rome is very close to using nuclear bombs in this scenario. The king, I guess it would be the king, kind of realizes at this point where they're kind of screwed. But there's just too many troops. Really, I think 5 billion, 6 billion of the planet, if maybe even more than that, are currently at war against like 1 billion. Naval shelling on this coast between American and Roman naval battles are happening fiercely. The Roman Navy just not giving up at all. So, and we have them even losing control of Denmark, because this is too much. The troops are tired of the war, but they're not going to surrender. Denmark Sweden and Norway pushed in here with Danish forces that were stationed up here before the country fell. So, what's gonna happen now? Well, really, the main thing that happens is we have this happening. So they're pushed out of the African continent, which sets the stage of an invasion of mainland Italy, which capital is right around there. So there are tons of rebellions happening, mainly in this area, but also in France. But they keep getting suppressed, so they're gonna wait for. I mean, they're gonna still try, but it's just crimes against humanity at this point. So we have more push-ins to here. We have Turkey, rebelling, and this is too big of a rebellion for them to just put down. Turkey rebelled against them, leaving for all this area to just crumble. The Middle East is fine now. Turkey was never happy about this. And eventually this will happen. And you would think now that Rome would see this defeat spelled on the ball, but no, they're not gonna they're not gonna surrender. They're just gonna keep fighting. So eventually Ukraine gets completely liberated. And now the rebellions start happening. We have Greece rebelling. We have Romania rebelling. I know that's a bit more than Romania, but they rebel. And eventually just basically all of this area kind of rebels. I'm just gonna take them all into one so I don't have to. It's like 10 different colors. And they're still gonna fight though. They're still fighting. They're not gonna give up. I mean, should they give up? Definitely yes. As this happens. So in the last ditch effort, Rome is actually gonna use the nuclear bombs here, but most of them hit the ocean. One hits there, one is up here, right there. None of them actually work. Rome doesn't know how to use the nuclear technology, and the world is not gonna take this lightly because that's a lot of radiation in the ocean. And eventually, Rome will just crumble. It's a lot of time, but they crumble. Alright, in the peace treaty, we have everything basically going back to normal. You know what? I would just cut that out. Let's do this. Alright, in the peace treaty, we have everything going back to normal, besides for a little bit of Europe. Now, the powers weren't actually able to literally destabilize. Now, they weren't able to completely disband Rome. They didn't they did take out the entire country, but they did surrender at the end. Once they got pushed back to here. But anyway, it's basically over. Well, for Rome, they're still strong. Not as nearly as strong as they once were, but they still have France, Switzerland, Austria, and main Italy. Now, really, a lot of the lands of every country that was annexed by Rome was given back. So really, this is all good. Ukraine tried to get its land back from Russia, but Russia said, "Hey, we were just trying to not expand the borders or anything. We were trying to push the Romans back." Yeah, you're not getting that back. So Ukraine's like, alright, whatever. I have most of my country, so it's whatever. I got my independence. The world isn't a monitor that's tiny Rome, but honestly, I can see France kind of breaking away. Switzerland probably it's probably just gonna go back to Italy. Yeah. But that's gonna be it for this scenario. This is if Rome came back to the modern day, and it did, but they kind of just happened. So next video might be another Empire video. Don't really know what it's gonna be.